Have you ever found yourself in a situation where your emotions took the reins, only for you to regret your actions later? Maybe you lashed out in anger during a heated argument, or felt overwhelmed by fear before an important presentation, wishing you could have just stayed calm. It's a common experience. Emotions rise, and in those moments, it feels impossible to stay in control. But what if I told you that you don't have to be controlled by your emotions anymore? What if you could learn to stay calm, centered, and clear-minded? No matter what life throws your way, imagine a life where anger doesn't rule your decisions, where frustration doesn't cloud your judgment, and where fear no longer stops you from taking the next step toward your goals. In this life, you act with clarity, purpose, and intention. You respond thoughtfully to life's challenges, rather than reacting impulsively. This is the power of mastering non-reaction, a transformative practice rooted in ancient Buddhist wisdom, and something we all have the potential to achieve. But how do we get there? How do we learn to stay calm in the midst of chaos and take control of our emotions, instead of letting them control us? Well, that's exactly what we're going to explore today. By the end of this video, you'll have access to 10 powerful techniques that can help you regain control over your emotional responses, and start living a life of greater peace and clarity. And as a special bonus, there's a lesson at the end that could completely change the way you view and manage your emotions, leading you to profound personal growth. Trust me, this one will make all the difference. So, let's dive in and explore the transformative power of mastering non-reaction. Ready? In a fast-paced world filled with constant demands, we often find ourselves trapped between two extremes of the past and the future. We replay past mistakes, reliving the shame or regret, and project our fears into the future, creating anxiety about what's to come. Rarely do we stop to experience the now, the only moment where life truly unfolds. Anchoring ourselves in the present moment is not just a spiritual practice but a powerful tool for emotional stability and clarity. Take Maya, for instance, a young professional constantly overwhelmed by criticism at work. She struggled with self-doubt, frequently replaying negative feedback in her head or worrying about how she would be perceived in the future. Her inner turmoil led to sleepless nights, strained relationships, and a lack of fulfillment. However, when she embraced the practice of living in the present moment, her life began to transform. By grounding herself in the now, she found a sense of calm that allowed her to respond to challenges with wisdom and grace. But Maya's story is not unique. This principle applies to everyone, from everyday individuals to some of the most influential figures in history. Leaders like Steve Jobs, Barack Obama, and Oprah Winfrey have all attributed their success and clarity to staying anchored in the present. Let's dive deeper into the concept of living in the moment, its transformative power, and how to integrate it into our daily lives. One of the primary reasons we struggle to live in the present is that our minds are wired for survival, not contentment. This evolutionary mechanism often pulls us into rumination about the past to learn from mistakes or worry about the future to prepare for potential threats. While this instinct may have helped our ancestors survive, it creates unnecessary stress in modern life. Social media and technology amplify this tendency. Endless notifications and the constant comparison to others' curated lives on Instagram or LinkedIn make it harder than ever to focus on the present. We are bombarded with reminders of what we should have done differently and what we need to achieve next, leaving little room for the peace that comes from simply being. Consider Elon Musk. the visionary behind Tesla and SpaceX. Musk is known for his intense work ethic and ambitious goals. But even he emphasizes the importance of focus. During interviews, he often speaks about the necessity of prioritizing the present task over dwelling on past failures or future uncertainties. Musk's ability to stay present allows him to think creatively, solve problems effectively, and lead groundbreaking projects. Living in the present moment offers profound benefits, both for mental health and overall productivity. It fosters emotional stability, sharpens focus, and enhances the quality of relationships. When we are fully present, we engage more deeply with others and experience life's joys with greater intensity. When we're not burdened by past regrets or future anxieties, our minds become clearer, enabling better decision-making. Oprah Winfrey, one of the most successful media moguls of our time, often credits mindfulness for her ability to navigate complex decisions. By focusing on the present, she avoids impulsive reactions and instead responds thoughtfully, aligning her actions with her values. Living in the moment helps regulate emotions. Rather than being swept away by anger or fear, we can observe our feelings as they arise and let them pass without attaching to them. Take Maya's story as an example. Instead of impulsively reacting to criticism, she learned to pause, breathe, and respond with calmness and clarity. Creativity thrives in the present moment. Steve Jobs, known for revolutionizing technology with Apple, practiced mindfulness meditation daily. This practice helped him stay present and think outside the box, leading to groundbreaking innovations like the iPhone. Being present allows us to form stronger connections with others. When we actively listen and engage with people without distractions, relationships flourish. Former President Barack Obama is renowned for his ability to make people feel seen and heard, a skill rooted in his presence during conversations. Living in the present may sound simple, but it requires intentional practice. Here are practical steps to help you embrace the now. Mindfulness is the cornerstone of living in the moment. This practice involves focusing on the present without judgment. Start small by dedicating 5 minutes daily to mindfulness meditation. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. When your mind wanders, gently bring your attention back to your breathing. When emotions surge or your mind races, grounding yourself in your senses can help. Take a deep breath and focus on what you can see, hear, smell, touch, and taste. For example, if you're overwhelmed during a stressful meeting, feel the chair beneath you. Notice the sound of voices, or focus on your breathing. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's present. Reflect on 3 things you're grateful for at the start or end of each day. This simple practice trains your mind to appreciate the now. In moments of tension, resist the urge to react immediately. Pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what is happening right now? This creates space for thoughtful responses instead of impulsive reactions. Recognize that the past cannot be changed and the future is uncertain. Worrying about either only robs you of the present. As Maya discovered, her anxiety stemmed from living outside the moment. By accepting what is, you free yourself to focus on what matters. Maya's story is a testament to the power of living in the present. Initially, she felt consumed by her mistakes and future uncertainties. However, through consistent mindfulness practices, she transformed her perspective. When her manager criticized her during a meeting, instead of reacting defensively, She paused, took a deep breath, and responded calmly. This shift not only improved her relationships at work but also her overall mental health. Famous individuals like Maya Angelou also embody this principle. The poet and activist once said, "I've learned that making a living is not the same thing as making a life." This wisdom reminds us to savor the present moment, as it's the foundation of a fulfilling life. Living in the present moment is not a one-time achievement but a lifelong practice. It requires awareness, patience, and commitment. The rewards, however, are transformative: greater clarity, emotional resilience, and a profound sense of peace. So the next time your mind drifts to the past or races toward the future, take a moment to pause and return to the now. As Buddha wisely said, "Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." Living in the present is not just a skill, it's a way of life. It's the key to unlocking your true potential and finding lasting peace in a world that often feels chaotic. Take inspiration from Maya, Oprah, Steve Jobs, and others who have harnessed the power of mindfulness. You too can begin this journey today, one breath, one moment at a time. Mindfulness, a term once relegated to meditation retreats and spiritual practices, has become a cornerstone of modern living. In today's hyper-connected world, where stresses are constant, and decisions are made in split seconds, mindfulness offers a way to pause, recalibrate, and respond wisely. It's not about emptying the mind or achieving a state of Zen, rather, it's about cultivating awareness and creating space between a trigger and a reaction. Take Rahul's story, for example. As a busy entrepreneur, he often felt pressured to respond to situations immediately. When a client sent him a harshly critical email, his initial reaction was to send an equally defensive response. But instead of hitting send, he paused. Rahul took a few moments to center himself, observing his emotions without judgment. This small act of mindfulness allowed him to respond with clarity and professionalism, ultimately preserving an important business relationship. Rahul's experience is not unique. High-performing individuals across industries, from tech CEOs to world leaders, have discovered the transformative power of mindfulness. Let's explore its principles, benefits, and practical applications, with examples from well-known figures to ground the concept in relatable experiences. At its core, mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment with intention and without judgment. It's about observing thoughts, emotions, and sensations as they arise, creating a buffer between stimuli and response. This practice is rooted in ancient traditions, particularly Buddhism, but its applications are universal and have been scientifically validated in modern contexts. Mindfulness is not about suppressing thoughts or emotions but about acknowledging them. When we become aware of our internal states, we gain control over how we react. This process, though simple in theory, can have profound impacts on our personal and professional lives. Despite its simplicity, mindfulness can be challenging because of the way our minds are wired. The brain's default mode is to ruminate on the past or worry about the future. This tendency, while evolutionarily advantageous for survival, often creates unnecessary stress in modern life. Consider Rahul's situation. His defensive reaction to the email was automatic, driven by a combination of ego and fear of professional damage. These knee-jerk reactions are common, but mindfulness allows us to step back and choose a response that aligns with our values and goals. Scientific research has provided compelling evidence for the effectiveness of mindfulness in reducing stress, enhancing focus, and improving emotional regulation. Studies using functional MRI scans show that mindfulness strengthens the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making and emotional regulation, while reducing activity in the amygdala, the brain's fear center. For example, a study published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that mindfulness-based stress reduction programs significantly reduced anxiety and depression in participants. These findings underscore why mindfulness has been adopted by professionals ranging from healthcare workers to tech innovators. One of the most immediate benefits of mindfulness is improved emotional regulation. By observing emotions without judgment, we reduce their intensity and avoid being swept away by them. Take former US President Barack Obama as an example. Known for his calm demeanor, Obama practiced mindfulness techniques such as pausing and taking deep breaths before responding to high-pressure situations. This ability to remain composed allowed him to navigate some of the most challenging moments of his presidency. Mindfulness creates space for deliberate decision-making. Instead of reacting impulsively, we respond thoughtfully. Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, is known for his ability to think through complex problems under immense pressure. While Musk hasn't explicitly identified mindfulness as his tool, his methodical approach to decision-making reflects the principles of mindful awareness. In a world filled with distractions, mindfulness helps improve focus by training the brain to stay in the present moment. Apple co-founder Steve Jobs practiced Zen meditation regularly, attributing much of his creative success to the clarity and focus it brought him. Mindfulness fosters deeper connections by encouraging active listening and empathy. Oprah Winfrey, for instance, credits mindfulness practices with helping her become a more present and engaged communicator, strengthening her personal and professional relationships. Mindfulness doesn't require hours of meditation or a complete lifestyle overhaul. Small, consistent practices can make a significant difference. The simplest form of mindfulness is focusing on your breath. Take a few moments to inhale deeply. Hold your breath, and exhale slowly. This practice can be done anywhere, whether you're stuck in traffic, preparing for a meeting, or feeling overwhelmed. A body scan involves bringing awareness to different parts of your body, starting from your toes and moving upward. This practice helps you tune into physical sensations and release tension. Rahul's story illustrates the power of pausing before responding to an email, having a difficult conversation, or making a decision. Take a moment to check in with yourself. Ask, what am I feeling right now? How do I want to respond? Writing down your thoughts can help clarify your emotions and bring awareness to recurring patterns. For example, after a stressful day, journaling can help you process events and gain perspective. In conversations, focus entirely on the speaker without planning your response or getting distracted. This practice not only strengthens relationships but also deepens understanding. Rahul's decision to pause and practice mindfulness transformed a potentially damaging situation into an opportunity for growth. His calm and thoughtful email not only repaired his relationship with the client but also earned their respect. Jeff Weiner, the former CEO of LinkedIn, is a vocal advocate for mindfulness. He implemented compassionate management practices at LinkedIn, encouraging his team to approach challenges with empathy and presence. Under his leadership, the company thrived, demonstrating that mindfulness isn't just a personal tool but a powerful leadership strategy. Tennis legend Serena Williams has often spoken about the importance of mental focus during matches. By staying present and channeling her energy into the moment, she has overcome setbacks and achieved extraordinary success. While the benefits of mindfulness are clear, many people face challenges in adopting the practice. Mindfulness doesn't require hours of meditation. Start with just 1 minute of focused breathing each day, and gradually increase the duration. It's natural for the mind to wander. The goal of mindfulness is not to eliminate thoughts but to gently bring your focus back to the present whenever it drifts. Mindfulness enhances productivity by improving focus, decision-making, and emotional resilience. Think of it as sharpening the axe before chopping wood. Mindfulness is more than a trendy buzzword, it's a powerful tool for navigating life's challenges with clarity and grace. From saving business relationships to improving personal well-being, its applications are vast and its benefits undeniable. By incorporating small mindfulness practices into your daily routine, you can create space for thoughtful responses, deepen your relationships, and unlock your full potential. Whether you're an entrepreneur like Rahul, a leader like Jeff Weiner, or a performer like Serena Williams, the power of mindfulness can transform your life, one breath, one moment at a time. In our highly interconnected world, where validation often hinges on likes, comments, or applause, detachment can feel counterintuitive. Yet, this ancient concept offers profound lessons for finding inner peace. Detachment isn't about indifference or apathy, rather, it's about releasing the need to control outcomes and finding joy in the process itself. This subtle but powerful shift in mindset can transform how we approach relationships, ambitions, and personal growth. Take Myra's story as a case study. As an artist, Myra poured her soul into her work, but her self-worth was tethered to how others perceived her art. A lack of appreciation would devastate her, leaving her questioning her talent and purpose. When she discovered the Buddhist principle of detachment, her perspective changed. She began to focus on the act of creation rather than external validation. And this shift allowed her to rediscover the intrinsic joy of her craft. Detachment is not about giving up or disengaging from life. It's about shifting focus from outcomes to the present moment. In Buddhist philosophy, detachment refers to releasing one's grip on desires and expectations, which are often the root of suffering. By letting go of attachment, we free ourselves from the constant emotional roller coaster tied to success, failure, approval, or rejection. However, detachment does not mean abandoning goals or relationships. Instead, it means pursuing them with a sense of balance, allowing space for flexibility and acceptance when things don't go as planned. Humans are wired for attachment. From an evolutionary perspective, being attached to people, goals, and possessions helped ensure survival. But in the modern world, excessive attachment often leads to stress and unhappiness. For Myra, her attachment to others' opinions of her art became a source of pain. This dynamic is common across professions and lifestyles. Whether it's a corporate executive striving for promotions, an athlete chasing victories, or a parent seeking perfection, attachment can trap us in a cycle of anxiety and dissatisfaction. Detachment aligns with findings in psychology and neuroscience. Studies show that individuals who practice mindfulness and acceptance experience lower stress levels and greater emotional resilience. This is because detachment allows the brain to bypass the constant fight or flight response triggered by perceived threats, such as failure or criticism. For example, Research published in the Journal of Happiness Studies reveals that individuals who detach from material possessions report higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction. Similarly, the practice of detachment from outcomes enables people to navigate challenges with greater equanimity and focus. One of the key benefits of detachment is emotional freedom. It allows you to break free from the emotional highs and lows tied to external validation. Instead of being crushed by criticism or elated by praise, you develop a stable sense of self-worth. Consider former First Lady Michelle Obama. In her memoir Becoming, she speaks about learning to detach from others' opinions, focusing instead on her values and personal growth. This mindset allowed her to navigate public life with grace and authenticity. Letting go of the need for approval often leads to greater creativity. When Mira stopped worrying about how her art would be received, she began experimenting freely, producing some of her best work. Similarly, Steve Jobs, co-founder of Apple, embraced detachment by focusing on creating innovative products rather than pandering to market trends. This boldness revolutionized multiple industries. Detachment also builds resilience by helping you see failures as learning opportunities rather than personal defeats. Oprah Winfrey, one of the most successful media moguls, often credits her ability to let go of setbacks as key to her success. She has said, "Failure is just life trying to move us in another direction." Detachment can enhance relationships by reducing the need for control or excessive expectations. When you let go of the desire to change others or cling to specific outcomes, relationships become more authentic and fulfilling. To practice detachment, start by shifting your focus. Instead of obsessing over the result, immerse yourself in the process. For Mira, this meant finding joy in painting without worrying about others' reactions. Whether you're writing, cooking, or working, aim to be fully present in the activity itself. Practice self-reflection by asking yourself, what am I clinging to? And why? Is it validation, fear of failure, or material possessions? Identifying your attachments is the first step to releasing them. Set intentions, not rigid expectations. While goals are essential, attaching rigid expectations to them can lead to frustration. For instance, instead of aiming to get 100,000 likes, focus on creating content that aligns with your passions and values. Embrace impermanence, recognizing that everything in life is temporary: success, failure, relationships, and possessions. This awareness can help you approach life with greater flexibility and acceptance. Develop a gratitude practice by focusing on what you already have, shifting your mindset from lack to abundance. Mindful breathing is another simple but effective practice. When you feel overwhelmed by attachment, take a few deep breaths and center yourself in the present moment to regain perspective. Myra's story exemplifies the power of detachment. By shifting her focus from external approval to internal fulfillment, she unlocked her creativity and found peace in her art. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, often talks about the importance of focusing on long-term goals rather than short-term results. His ability to detach from immediate stock market reactions and prioritize customer satisfaction allowed Amazon to become a global powerhouse. J.K. Rowling, author of the Harry Potter series, faced multiple rejections before her work was published. By detaching from the fear of failure and focusing on her passion for storytelling, she persevered and became one of the most successful authors of all time. While detachment offers numerous benefits, it's not always easy to implement. For those afraid of losing motivation, It's important to remember that detachment doesn't mean giving up on your goals. It means approaching them with a sense of freedom rather than fear. By focusing on the process, you may find even greater motivation and enjoyment. Detaching doesn't mean you don't care enough. Caring deeply while practicing detachment helps you remain grounded without becoming consumed by the outcome. And while letting go may feel unnatural at first, start small, release attachment to minor outcomes before tackling larger challenges. Detachment is a liberating practice that empowers you to live with greater clarity, creativity, and resilience. By focusing on the process rather than the outcome, you can free yourself from the emotional burden of external expectations. Whether you're an artist like Mira, a leader like Jeff Bezos, or a dreamer like J.K. Rowling, the practice of letting go allows you to embrace life's uncertainties with confidence and peace. Through detachment, you gain the freedom to create, connect, and grow on your own terms. The world today moves at a breakneck pace. Decisions are made quickly, and reactions are often instantaneous. However, in this environment, the ability to pause before responding is a superpower. The story of Ravi, a young manager who navigated a challenging situation with composure, illustrates the profound impact of pausing. By taking a moment to reflect, he transformed a potentially damaging confrontation into an opportunity for growth and understanding. This practice of pausing is simple yet revolutionary, offering anyone the tools to handle conflict and stress with grace. The pause is not about avoiding action, it's about creating space between a trigger and your reaction. This space allows your emotional mind to settle and your rational mind to engage. Neuroscientifically, pausing gives your brain time to transition from the amygdala, the center of emotional reactivity, to the prefrontal cortex, which governs logic, empathy, and decision-making. In Ravi's case, his immediate urge was to respond angrily. Without a pause, his reaction could have escalated the tension, damaging his reputation and the team's morale. By pausing, he demonstrated emotional intelligence, a trait that leaders like Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, often emphasize as key to effective leadership. When we face criticism or confrontation, our fight-or-flight response is often triggered. This reaction evolved to protect us from physical threats but can be counterproductive in modern interactions. Pausing interrupts this automatic response, giving us time to assess the situation and choose a measured reaction. A study published in Psychological Science found that individuals who practiced mindfulness-based pausing techniques had improved emotional regulation and reduced stress levels. By pausing, they could reframe situations, reducing the intensity of negative emotions. Abraham Lincoln, one of the most revered U.S. presidents, understood the power of pausing. When angered by criticism or frustration, he would write a letter expressing his emotions but never send it. This practice allowed him to process his feelings without acting impulsively. Historians often credit Lincoln's ability to pause and reflect as a key factor in his leadership success during the Civil War. Former President Barack Obama is known for his calm demeanor, even in high-pressure situations. In interviews, he has spoken about deliberately pausing to think before responding, ensuring that his words align with his values and objectives. This ability to pause and reflect earned him respect as a leader who could navigate crises with composure. A pause creates a cooling-off period. Instead of reacting defensively, you can respond thoughtfully, reducing the likelihood of escalating conflict. Ravi's decision to pause during the meeting allowed him to transform criticism into a constructive discussion. Pausing gives you time to choose your words carefully. This can prevent misunderstandings and foster clearer, more effective communication. In leadership, clear communication is a cornerstone of trust and collaboration. Pausing helps you manage emotions like anger, frustration, or anxiety. By taking a moment to breathe or count to 10, you allow your emotions to settle, enabling a more rational response. When faced with challenges, impulsive reactions often lead to short-term solutions. Pausing allows you to think creatively and consider long-term outcomes. Entrepreneurs like Elon Musk have spoken about the importance of stepping back and reflecting when making decisions, particularly under pressure. To practice pausing, start with deep breathing. When emotions surge, take 3 slow, deep breaths. This simple act lowers your heart rate and calms your nervous system, helping you regain control. Counting to 10 is a classic technique for managing anger and frustration. This brief pause can make the difference between a reactive outburst and a measured reply. Take a moment to observe your surroundings, your emotions, or even the sensations in your body. This mindfulness exercise anchors you in the present, reducing the intensity of your emotional reaction. When asked a challenging question or faced with criticism, wait 3 seconds before responding. This pause signals to others that you are thoughtful and composed, while giving yourself time to formulate a clear response. If a situation isn't urgent, write down your thoughts and feelings before addressing it. This technique, inspired by Lincoln's hot letters, allows you to process emotions privately and respond with clarity. When you pause before responding, you avoid reacting in ways that may harm your relationships. Over time, this practice builds trust and mutual respect. For example, Ravi's thoughtful response likely strengthened his credibility and rapport with his team. Leaders who pause before reacting are perceived as more thoughtful and composed. This trait fosters confidence among their teams. Indra Nooyi, former CEO of PepsiCo, has often highlighted the importance of pausing to listen and reflect in leadership roles. Pausing allows you to weigh options and consider consequences before acting. This leads to better decisions, both in personal and professional contexts. By interrupting the fight or flight response, pausing can reduce stress and promote a sense of calm. Over time, this practice contributes to better mental health and well-being. Pausing is often mistaken for indecision, but it's the opposite. It's a deliberate act of taking control, ensuring your response is intentional rather than impulsive. In reality, a pause can be as short as a single breath or a few seconds. The time invested in pausing is negligible compared to the potential consequences of a poorly thought-out reaction. Some people believe pausing in the face of criticism or conflict shows weakness. In truth, it demonstrates emotional strength and self-mastery, qualities that are widely respected. Ravi's story highlights how a simple pause can change the trajectory of a situation. When criticized publicly, his instinct was to defend himself, potentially escalating the conflict. Instead, he paused, giving himself the space to respond calmly and constructively. This not only preserved his reputation but also turned the criticism into an opportunity for dialogue and growth. His experience underscores a universal truth: in moments of tension, the ability to pause is often the difference between reaction and a response. Conflict and resolution. The power of the pause lies in its simplicity. By taking a moment to breathe, reflect, or observe, you gain control over your reactions. transforming challenges into opportunities for growth. Leaders like Abraham Lincoln, Barack Obama, and Ravi remind us that pausing isn't just a tool, it's a mindset. It's an intentional choice to act with clarity and wisdom. No matter the circumstances. Whether in a high-stakes meeting, a personal disagreement, or a moment of self-doubt, pausing allows you to respond with intention, fostering stronger relationships, better decisions, and greater peace of mind. The concept of impermanence, central to many philosophical and spiritual traditions, teaches us that nothing in life is permanent. Joy, pain, success, or failure. This truth, while humbling, is also liberating. Priya's story illustrates how embracing impermanence can help us navigate life's ups and downs. After a painful breakup, her realization that both joy and pain are fleeting allows her to release her sorrow and move forward. This philosophy holds profound implications for personal growth, emotional resilience, and our ability to adapt to life's inevitable changes. Impermanence, or anicca in Buddhist teachings, reflects the idea that everything in life is in constant flux. Seasons change, relationships evolve, and even the strongest emotions eventually fade. While this truth can be unsettling, it also serves as a reminder that life's challenges are temporary. This perspective is not limited to spiritual traditions. Modern psychology also recognizes the transient nature of emotions and experiences. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, for example, encourages individuals to recognize that negative feelings are not permanent and will pass with time. A major source of human suffering is our tendency to cling to people, possessions, or emotions. When we resist change, we create friction between reality and our desires. Priya's initial struggle after her breakup stemmed from clinging to her past relationship and the happiness it once brought her. However, this resistance only deepened her pain. As the Buddha taught, attachment is the root of suffering. By clinging to what we want to preserve or resisting what we want to avoid, we entangle ourselves in a cycle of dissatisfaction. This applies not only to relationships but also to career setbacks, aging, and other inevitable changes in life. Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple, embraced impermanence after being diagnosed with cancer. In his famous Stanford commencement speech, he shared how confronting mortality motivated him to live authentically and focus on what truly mattered. Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose, he said. Jobs' acceptance of life's transience fueled his creativity and resilience, even in the face of adversity. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison, enduring unimaginable hardships. However, he understood that his suffering was not permanent. This awareness gave him the strength to persevere and eventually lead South Africa through a historic transformation. Mandela's life is a testament to the power of embracing impermanence, as it enabled him to find purpose in the midst of struggle. Former First Lady Michelle Obama has spoken candidly about how embracing change has shaped her journey. In her book Becoming, she reflects on the impermanence of life's stages, from her early career to her role in the White House. By accepting that each phase of life is temporary, she found the freedom to grow and adapt. Priya's realization that both joy and pain are fleeting allowed her to move beyond her sorrow. One key takeaway from her story is that pain is temporary. When we are in the midst of emotional turmoil, it can feel all-encompassing. However, just as joy eventually fades, so too does pain. By reminding herself of this truth, Priya was able to see beyond her immediate suffering and envision a brighter future. Recognizing impermanence is not about pessimism, it's about appreciating the present moment. When we accept that joy is fleeting, we cherish it more deeply, savoring life's beautiful moments without taking them for granted. Understanding impermanence gives us perspective during difficult times. It reminds us that life's challenges are not permanent roadblocks but temporary hurdles that we can overcome. To embrace impermanence, mindfulness practice is essential. Mindfulness teaches us to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment. By focusing on the present moment, we learn to appreciate life's transience without becoming attached to it. For example, mindfulness exercises, such as meditating on the breath, can help anchor us during periods of emotional upheaval. Journaling about your experiences can also help you process emotions and recognize their temporary nature. Priya might have benefited from journaling about her feelings, allowing her to see how her sorrow evolved and diminished over time. Gratitude practice is another helpful tool, as it helps us focus on what we have rather than what we've lost. By cultivating gratitude, we become more aware of the fleeting beauty of life's positive moments, deepening our appreciation for them. Letting go of control is another important practice. Recognizing that you cannot control everything allows you to free yourself from unnecessary stress and let life unfold naturally. Meditation on impermanence, such as reflecting on the changing nature of seasons or the life cycle of a flower, can deepen your understanding of impermanence, cultivating a sense of peace and acceptance in the face of life's changes. Embracing impermanence offers several emotional benefits. One of these is reduced anxiety. By accepting that everything is temporary, we release the fear of losing what we cherish. This perspective can reduce anxiety and help us approach life with greater calm. When we understand that pain is temporary, we develop greater resilience. This mindset allows us to endure challenges with patience and hope, knowing that better days lie ahead. Impermanence teaches us to value the present moment. By embracing this truth, we become more grateful for life's fleeting joys, enriching our overall experience of life. Life is unpredictable, but when we embrace impermanence, we become more adaptable. This flexibility allows us to navigate change with grace and optimism. Some people view impermanence as a source of sadness. However, it is not about dwelling on loss but appreciating life's fleeting nature. It teaches us to live fully in the moment, knowing that each experience is precious. Embracing impermanence doesn't mean detachment from life. It means engaging with life wholeheartedly, knowing that it is ever-changing. This perspective fosters a deeper connection to the present moment. On the contrary, impermanence gives life meaning. By recognizing that time is limited, we are motivated to live intentionally, prioritize what matters, and cherish each experience. Priya's journey demonstrates how embracing impermanence can transform pain into strength. By accepting that her sorrow was temporary, she freed herself from its grip and found the courage to move forward. This philosophy applies to all areas of life, whether it's overcoming loss, navigating change, or savoring moments of joy. Life's impermanence is not something to fear but a truth to embrace. It teaches us to live with grace, resilience, and an open heart, finding beauty in every fleeting moment. Gratitude is a powerful emotional practice that can transform the way we experience life. It has the ability to shift our perspective from one of scarcity to one of abundance. Priya's journey toward cultivating gratitude showcases the profound impact this simple yet transformative habit can have on her well-being. By focusing on what she already has, rather than what she lacks, Priya begins to notice the richness and joy present in her life, ultimately leading to greater contentment. Gratitude is a universal concept valued across cultures, religions, and philosophies. It has the potential to reframe our experiences and help us find contentment regardless of our circumstances. In a world where we are often conditioned to focus on what's missing, whether it's material possessions, social status, or achievements, the practice of gratitude offers a refreshing alternative. It encourages us to pause, reflect, and recognize the abundance that already exists in our lives. Gratitude is not simply an acknowledgement of what we are thankful for, but an active choice to focus on the positive. It requires us to be mindful and present, shifting our attention away from what we do not have, and instead directing our energy toward appreciating the blessings in our lives. The more we practice gratitude, the more our mindset transforms, allowing us to experience greater joy, peace, and fulfillment. In Priya's story, we see a woman who, like many of us, was initially focused on what was lacking in her life. She may have been preoccupied with material possessions, career goals, or the desire for more recognition. This mindset of scarcity led to dissatisfaction and frustration. Priya's daily routine might have included constant comparisons to others, which only fueled her sense of inadequacy. However, by incorporating a simple daily gratitude practice into her life, everything begins to shift. Priya commits to writing down 3 things she is thankful for each day, a practice known to promote positivity and mindfulness. This small action forces her to take a step back from her busy life and reflect on the present moment. Over time, as she repeats this exercise, Priya starts to notice the abundance that has always been present in her life but that she had previously overlooked. Her daily gratitude practice does not just focus on the big accomplishments, but also on the simple, often overlooked blessings: a conversation with a friend, a warm cup of tea, or the comfort of a good book. These small moments of gratitude gradually accumulate, and Priya finds herself feeling more content and fulfilled. She begins to see that the sense of scarcity she once felt was more a result of her own mindset than any external circumstance. Scientific research supports the idea that gratitude can significantly enhance mental and physical well-being. Studies have shown that practicing gratitude can increase happiness, reduce stress, and improve overall life satisfaction. One of the most well-known studies on gratitude was conducted by Robert Emmons, a leading researcher in the field of positive psychology. In his research, participants who kept a gratitude journal reported feeling more optimistic, less anxious, and more physically healthy compared to those who focused on negative events or everyday hassles. Gratitude also helps rewire the brain. Regularly practicing gratitude can strengthen neural pathways associated with positive emotions, while reducing activity in the areas of the brain linked to negativity. This means that, with consistent effort, we can train ourselves to focus on the positive aspects of life, even in the face of adversity. The main takeaway from Priya's story is that gratitude has the power to shift our perspective. In a culture that often prioritizes achievement and material success, it can be easy to overlook the things that truly matter: the people in our lives, our health, and the simple pleasures that make each day special. Gratitude invites us to step away from the constant desire for more and instead focus on what we already have. This shift from scarcity to abundance is not just a change in perspective, it is a change in how we experience life. When we practice gratitude, we stop measuring our worth against others or comparing our lives to unrealistic standards. Instead, We begin to see the beauty in what we already possess. And this fosters a sense of contentment and fulfillment. This mindset shift can be particularly empowering in a world where so many external factors seem to define success and happiness. Gratitude has a ripple effect that extends beyond the individual. When we practice gratitude, it influences how we interact with others. A person who is grateful is more likely to express appreciation, show kindness, and foster positive relationships. In turn, these acts of gratitude and kindness create a more supportive and uplifting environment for everyone involved. Take, for example, Oprah Winfrey, a woman who has often spoken about the transformative power of gratitude. Oprah is known for her gratitude practice, which she believes has played a key role in her success and happiness. She regularly encourages her audience to keep a gratitude journal and has said that, for her, gratitude is the foundation of a fulfilling life. Oprah's example demonstrates how gratitude not only enhances her own well-being but also spreads positivity to others. Another example is the Dalai Lama, who has emphasized the importance of gratitude in creating a peaceful and compassionate world. His teachings remind us that gratitude is not just about personal happiness but about fostering a sense of interconnectedness and empathy with others. The Dalai Lama's emphasis on gratitude serves as a reminder that the practice is not just a personal benefit, it has the potential to create a more harmonious world. Starting a gratitude practice is simple, but it requires consistent effort. One way is to keep a gratitude journal. Write down 3 things you are grateful for each day. Try to be specific and focus on the small, everyday moments. This exercise helps you actively notice the positive aspects of your life. Another method is writing a gratitude letter. Write a letter to someone who has had a positive impact on your life, expressing your appreciation for them and letting them know how they've influenced you. Not only will this make their day, but it will also reinforce your own sense of gratitude. Mindful appreciation is also helpful. Take a few moments throughout your day to notice and appreciate what's around you. Whether it's the beauty of nature, the kindness of a friend, or the comfort of your home. Acknowledging these blessings can enhance your overall sense of gratitude. Incorporating gratitude into your daily rituals is another option. For example, before eating, take a moment to appreciate the food in front of you and the nourishment it provides. Or, before going to bed, reflect on the positive experiences of your day. The practice of gratitude is not just a fleeting exercise but a long-term habit that can profoundly impact your life. By shifting your focus from what you lack to what you have, you create a foundation of contentment that doesn't depend on external circumstances. As Priya discovered, gratitude opens our eyes to the abundance that is always present. It invites us to find joy in the simple moments, appreciate the relationships that enrich our lives, and cultivate a sense of peace and fulfillment that lasts. Gratitude is not just an attitude, it is a practice that transforms our relationship with ourselves and the world around us. When we embrace gratitude, we create a life that is rich in meaning, connection, and joy. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by anxiety, stress, and emotional turbulence, especially during high-pressure moments. Whether it's an important presentation at work, a challenging meeting, or a stressful personal situation, the emotions that arise in these moments can often feel uncontrollable. One of the most effective yet simple tools to counteract these overwhelming feelings is deep breathing. This practice, particularly when performed with a structured technique like the 4-7-8 method, can create immediate relief and long-lasting calm. Alex's story illustrates this well. When faced with the stress of an important presentation, his immediate response is anxiety. However, instead of letting that anxiety take control, he uses deep breathing to regulate his emotions. This act not only calms his nervous system but also gives him the clarity and composure to perform confidently. The 4-7-8 breathing technique, which involves inhaling for 4 seconds, holding for 7 seconds, and exhaling for 8 seconds, becomes his anchor in the moment of uncertainty, enabling him to regain control of his emotions. To understand the effectiveness of breathing techniques like 4-7-8, it's important to consider the physiological and psychological benefits of deep breathing. Deep breathing activates the body's parasympathetic nervous system, responsible for inducing a state of relaxation and calm. When we breathe deeply, the body reduces the production of stress hormones such as cortisol, and our heart rate slows down, which has a calming effect on both the body and mind. The 4-7-8 breathing technique specifically has been shown to activate the vagus nerve, which plays a key role in regulating heart rate and promoting relaxation. By elongating the exhalation, the 8-second phase, this technique encourages the body to release tension and triggers the body's natural relaxation response. Not only does it help in moments of acute anxiety, but when practiced regularly, it strengthens the body's ability to manage stress over time. Many of us breathe unconsciously, shallowly, or rapidly, especially under pressure. However, deep, deliberate breathing has a profound impact on our emotional state and cognitive clarity. It's a tool that's accessible at any time, anywhere, and can be a powerful resource in emotional self-regulation. In Alex's case, the immediate relief he experiences from deep breathing is significant. Anxiety, particularly before a public event like a presentation, can cloud judgment, impair focus, and lead to unnecessary stress. The physical sensation of nerves, the fluttering stomach, racing heart, and shallow breathing, often exacerbates anxiety. However, by practicing deep breathing, Alex interrupts this cycle. His 4-7-8 breaths slow his heart rate, ground his thoughts, and bring his focus to the present moment. This interruption of anxiety is not just psychological but also physiological. When we breathe deeply and slowly, we force our body to step out of fight or flight mode. Fight or flight, triggered by the body's sympathetic nervous system, is an instinctual response designed to help us survive danger. However, when preparing for a presentation or facing a challenging conversation, the fight or flight response is unnecessary and counterproductive. Deep breathing helps override this instinct, promoting a sense of calm and clarity. The beauty of deep breathing is that it's not reserved solely for high-pressure moments. Just as Alex used deep breathing in preparation for his presentation, it can be applied in everyday situations to maintain a sense of calm and balance. Regular practice of breathing exercises, like the 4-7-8 technique, can significantly reduce overall levels of anxiety and stress. Many high-profile individuals, particularly those in leadership positions, regularly incorporate breathing exercises into their routines to maintain composure. For example, the Dalai Lama, whose leadership is grounded in inner peace and emotional balance, has spoken about the power of mindfulness, meditation, and breathing techniques in cultivating calm and clarity, even in adversity. His practice of deep breathing serves as a model for leaders around the world, showing that emotional regulation is essential for effective leadership and decision-making. Similarly, Public figures like Arianna Huffington, the founder of the Huffington Post and CEO of Thrive Global, advocate for mindfulness and breathing techniques in reducing stress and improving productivity. She has often highlighted how she uses simple tools like deep breathing to regain composure, focus, and calm in her demanding career. The 4-7-8 breathing technique, as used by Alex, was developed by Dr. Andrew Weil, a well-known physician and advocate of integrative medicine. It's based on pranayama, an ancient yogic practice that focuses on breath control. Here's how it works: inhale through the nose for 4 seconds. Hold the breath for 7 seconds. And exhale through the mouth for 8 seconds. By focusing on this rhythm, individuals can promote relaxation, enhance focus, and reduce anxiety. The simplicity of the technique makes it easy to incorporate into any routine. And it can be practiced anywhere, before a big meeting, during a stressful moment at work, or even before falling asleep. Incorporating deep breathing into your daily life can have a wide range of benefits. It reduces anxiety and stress by lowering baseline levels, making it easier to manage overwhelming moments. It also improves mental clarity by increasing oxygen flow to the brain, enhancing cognitive function and focus. With consistent practice, deep breathing helps cultivate greater emotional self-control, allowing you to respond thoughtfully to stressful situations. Additionally, deep breathing has been linked to improved cardiovascular health, reduced blood pressure, and enhanced lung function. It helps relax muscles, promote better circulation, and improve sleep quality. Many people use deep breathing techniques before bed to calm their minds and prepare for restful sleep. While deep breathing is beneficial in everyday life, it's particularly powerful during high-pressure situations, like Alex's presentation. Whether speaking in public, attending a critical meeting, or facing a challenging conversation, the ability to pause and take a deep breath can make all the difference in your response. For instance, Barack Obama, the 44th President of the United States, was known for his calm demeanor, even in the most intense political and diplomatic situations. Obama's ability to remain composed, especially when facing criticism or high-pressure moments, is often attributed to his focus on mindfulness and emotional control. Although he may not have explicitly mentioned deep breathing techniques, his steady leadership is an example of how breath control and emotional regulation can help one stay calm in moments of crisis. Similarly, world-renowned athletes like Serena Williams have discussed how breathing techniques help them maintain focus and composure during high-stakes competitions. Whether in a tennis match or a stressful meeting, taking a few moments to center oneself through deep breathing can turn anxiety into clear-headed action. Deep breathing is a simple yet incredibly powerful tool for managing anxiety, stress, and emotional turbulence. As Alex demonstrated, it provides an immediate and effective way to calm the nervous system and regain focus in high-pressure moments. More than just a quick fix, deep breathing is a practice that can be incorporated into daily life to build resilience against stress and foster emotional balance. Regular practice of techniques like the 4-7-8 method can help individuals develop greater emotional intelligence, improve their decision-making, and enhance their overall sense of well-being. By taking control of our breath, we take control of our emotions, our reactions, and ultimately, our lives. In both our personal and professional lives, it is easy to fall into the trap of holding on to grudges or resentment. When we feel hurt, wronged, or misunderstood, Those feelings often fester over time, turning into anger or bitterness. This emotional burden can significantly affect not only our relationships but also our mental and physical well-being. However, as Ryan's story demonstrates, one of the most powerful ways to counteract these toxic emotions is compassion. Ryan's experience of holding a grudge against a coworker for months is something many people can relate to. We've all had moments when we were upset with someone, whether at work, in our personal lives, or even with those we care about. For Ryan, the issue began to affect his peace of mind. But when he took the time to reflect on compassion, something profound shifted within him. He began to see his co-workers' flaws not as personal attacks but as human struggles. By recognizing the shared humanity of the situation, Ryan found the space to let go of his anger and choose peace over resentment. At its core, compassion is about understanding and empathy. It's the ability to recognize another person's pain and respond with kindness. Compassion involves putting ourselves in someone else's shoes, seeing the situation through their eyes, and responding with care. This act of understanding doesn't mean excusing bad behavior or ignoring our feelings, but rather choosing to approach the situation with kindness, for our own healing and peace. Ryan's decision to extend compassion to his coworker didn't just heal their relationship, it also healed him. By holding on to his resentment, Ryan was carrying an emotional burden that drained him. When he chose to forgive and approach the situation with empathy, that weight was lifted. Compassion allowed Ryan to free himself from the negative emotions that were controlling him. And in doing so, he experienced a deeper sense of peace. Compassion isn't just a feel-good concept, it's scientifically supported and has real benefits for our mental and physical health. Research has shown that compassion can activate the brain's reward system, releasing feel-good chemicals like oxytocin and dopamine. These chemicals promote happiness, trust, and connection. On the other hand, holding on to anger and resentment can activate the body's stress response, increasing cortisol levels and causing physical tension. Furthermore, practicing compassion has been shown to reduce negative emotions like anxiety, depression, and stress. In a study by the University of California, researchers found that individuals who engaged in compassionate practices showed a reduction in both physical pain and emotional distress. Compassionate acts, whether toward others or oneself, have been linked to lower blood pressure, reduced stress levels, and improved overall well-being. For Ryan, when he chose compassion over resentment, he not only found peace with his coworker but also restored his sense of balance. By extending kindness, he was able to break the cycle of anger that had been weighing him down. Ryan's shift toward compassion began when he started viewing his coworkers' actions through a lens of empathy. Often, when we hold grudges, we fixate on the wrongs done to us, interpreting them as personal slights. However, when we step back and attempt to see the bigger picture, considering the other person's circumstances, struggles, or even personal challenges, we open ourselves up to a more nuanced understanding. This shift in perspective is essential for healing and peace. Many times, our frustration with others comes from a place of misunderstanding. We might not know the full extent of what someone is going through, whether they are dealing with personal issues, stress, or emotional struggles that we are unaware of. By extending compassion, we stop assuming that others' actions are a direct attack on us. Instead, we recognize that everyone has their own battles, and these struggles may influence their behavior in ways we don't fully understand. A prominent example of compassion in action is Oprah Winfrey. a media mogul, philanthropist, and advocate for kindness. Oprah has often spoken about the importance of compassion in her life and work, particularly in her efforts to forgive those who have hurt her. In interviews with notable figures on her talk shows, Oprah has emphasized understanding the challenges others face and the power of forgiveness in achieving personal peace. Oprah's approach is a reminder that compassion, even in the most challenging circumstances, allows for healing, not only in relationships but also within ourselves. Similarly, the Dalai Lama, a leader known for his teachings on peace, forgiveness, and compassion, has spent decades advocating for the healing power of compassion. His philosophy is grounded in the belief that compassion leads to inner peace, which is the foundation for creating a more harmonious world. He teaches that compassion, especially in adversity, is not a sign of weakness but a strength that empowers individuals to overcome pain and transform their relationships. While compassion is often extended toward others, it's equally important to show compassion to ourselves. Many people, like Ryan, are quick to offer forgiveness and empathy to others but struggle to show the same kindness to themselves. We are often our harshest critics, holding ourselves to impossible standards and beating ourselves up for mistakes or perceived shortcomings. The first step in healing and letting go of resentment is learning to be compassionate with ourselves. When we practice self-compassion, we allow ourselves to be human, acknowledging our imperfections and mistakes without judgment. Self-compassion creates space for self-forgiveness. And when we forgive ourselves, we are better equipped to forgive others. Without self-compassion, the process of healing can feel like an endless cycle of self-blame and resentment. Brené Brown, a research professor and author, has extensively studied vulnerability, shame, and self-compassion. In her book The Gifts of Imperfection, Brown discusses how practicing self-compassion helps us embrace our imperfections, which, in turn, allows us to be more compassionate toward others. Brown's work emphasizes that without kindness toward ourselves, we cannot fully extend kindness to others. Her teachings have resonated with many, including public figures like Lady Gaga, who have openly discussed their struggles with self-criticism, and the importance of practicing self-compassion for emotional well-being. Ultimately, compassion is about letting go of the emotional weight that resentment places on our hearts. Ryan's journey toward forgiveness allowed him to release the anger he had been holding onto for months. By choosing to see his co-workers' humanity, he broke free from the negative emotions controlling him. This act of letting go was liberating. It allowed Ryan to move forward with his life without the burden of resentment. It's important to note that letting go of anger and resentment doesn't mean condoning or excusing harmful behavior. It simply means choosing not to let these negative emotions dictate our actions or our mental state. By practicing compassion, we take back our power and choose peace over bitterness. In conclusion, compassion is a powerful tool for healing. Not just in relationships with others but in our relationship with ourselves. Whether extending kindness to others, understanding their struggles, or showing self-compassion during moments of self-doubt, compassion offers the opportunity for emotional freedom. Like Ryan, we all have the power to let go of resentment, find peace, and heal, both within ourselves and in our relationships. In today's fast-paced, constantly connected world, it is easy to lose touch with our emotional landscape. We often rush through life, reacting to situations without fully understanding why we feel the way we do. Emotions like irritability, frustration, or anger can arise seemingly out of nowhere. And if left unchecked, they can negatively impact both our personal lives and professional relationships. But what if the key to overcoming these negative emotions lies in understanding them more deeply? Sophie's journey of self-awareness is a perfect example of how gaining clarity about our emotions can lead to transformative change. Through journaling, Sophie takes a crucial step toward emotional clarity. By exploring her emotions in writing, she uncovers that her constant irritability stems from a deep-rooted fear of failure. Armed with this insight, Sophie begins to reframe her thoughts and take constructive action to manage her emotions. Self-awareness is the ability to recognize and understand our own emotions, thoughts, and behaviors. It allows us to observe how we react in certain situations and why we might feel a particular way. In Sophie's case, journaling provides a safe and structured way to explore her emotional triggers. Through this practice, she identifies a root cause of her irritability, her fear of failure. This level of self-awareness is essential for personal growth and emotional well-being. It enables us to become more attuned to our inner world and better equipped to navigate external challenges. Self-awareness gives us the tools to understand our emotional reactions and, more importantly, to control them. Without it, we are often at the mercy of our emotions, reacting impulsively or in ways that are counterproductive to our well-being. In Sophie's case, her irritability was a symptom of something deeper. Often, we can trace our emotional responses to underlying fears, insecurities, or unresolved issues. Sophie's fear of failure triggered a cycle of negative emotions. But once she became aware of this fear, she was able to stop the cycle and take control of her emotional state. Journaling is an incredibly powerful tool for self-reflection and emotional exploration. It creates space for introspection, allowing us to pause and assess our thoughts and feelings in a structured way. For Sophie, journaling allowed her to externalize her emotions, making them easier to understand and address. Writing down her thoughts provided clarity and helped her connect the dots between her feelings and the fear of failure she was grappling with. Journaling is a common practice among highly successful individuals. And for good reason. It fosters both self-awareness and growth. Oprah Winfrey, for example, has been vocal about how journaling has helped her process emotions, clarify her goals, and understand herself more deeply. By writing down her thoughts, Oprah has been able to confront her fears, address her emotional triggers, and find clarity in moments of uncertainty. Similarly, Tim Ferriss, author of The 4-Hour Workweek, advocates journaling as a way to increase self-awareness and productivity. Ferriss regularly journals to reflect on his emotional states and identify patterns in his behavior, using it as a tool to track progress and understand his inner landscape. Journaling brings unconscious thoughts to the surface, providing a clearer picture of what motivates us and what holds us back. Through writing, we can challenge negative thought patterns, reframe our perspectives, and identify ways to move forward. Emotional triggers are events, actions, or situations that provoke a strong emotional response. These triggers often stem from past experiences, unresolved trauma, or deeply ingrained beliefs. In Sophie's case, her fear of failure was a powerful emotional trigger that caused her to react with irritability when faced with challenges. When we are unaware of these triggers, we often react automatically, without taking the time to process what is happening, or why we feel the way we do. By gaining self-awareness through journaling, Sophie was able to pinpoint the cause of her frustration. This insight was the first step toward change. Once Sophie understood that her irritability was rooted in a fear of failure, she could begin to address that fear directly. Instead of reacting to situations with frustration, she could reframe her thoughts and choose more constructive responses. Emotional triggers are not inherently negative, they are simply signals that our body and mind are reacting to something. The key is in how we choose to respond to them. Self-awareness gives us the ability to pause, reflect, and decide how we want to engage with our emotions, rather than being controlled by them. A well-known example of someone who has mastered self-awareness and emotional regulation is former US President Barack Obama. Obama is often praised for his calm demeanor, even in the face of intense pressure. One reason for this is his practice of self-awareness. Obama has spoken about how he takes time to reflect on his emotional state before reacting to challenging situations. This practice allows him to approach problems with clarity and objectivity, rather than reacting impulsively. Once Sophie identified the source of her irritability, she began the process of reframing her thoughts. Reframing is a cognitive behavioral technique that involves changing the way we think about a situation to alter our emotional response. Instead of seeing failure as a threat, Sophie began to view it as a learning opportunity. By reframing her thoughts, she reduced her fear of failure and approached challenges with greater confidence and calm. Reframing is an essential skill for improving emotional well-being. It allows us to challenge negative thought patterns and replace them with positive, constructive beliefs. For example, instead of thinking, "I can't fail," we can reframe the thought to, "Failure is part of growth. I will learn from my mistakes." This shift in mindset helps us embrace challenges rather than shy away from them. Oprah Winfrey provides a powerful example of reframing. Throughout her career, Oprah has faced significant setbacks and criticism. But she has often spoken about how she reframed those experiences as opportunities for growth. Instead of viewing criticism as a personal attack, she reframes it as constructive feedback that can help her improve. This mindset has been a key factor in her resilience and success. Sophie's story demonstrates that awareness is the first and most important step toward personal change. Without self-awareness, meaningful progress is impossible. Awareness allows us to identify the emotional triggers that govern our behavior and provides the clarity we need to take control of our actions. In Sophie's case, journaling helped her understand her emotional responses and identify the root cause of her irritability. Once she was aware of her fear of failure, she was able to address it directly and reframe her thoughts. This process of self-reflection and awareness is essential for making lasting changes in emotional and behavioral patterns. Self-awareness is not a one-time event, it is an ongoing process. We are constantly evolving, and as such, our emotional triggers and reactions may shift over time. The key is to remain committed to self-reflection and continue exploring our thoughts and feelings. In conclusion, Sophie's journey demonstrates the transformative power of self-awareness. By taking the time to explore her emotions through journaling, she was able to gain clarity about her fear of failure and reframe her thoughts. This practice of self-reflection is an essential tool for understanding emotional triggers, driving positive change, and living a more fulfilling life. Whether through journaling, meditation, or simply taking a moment to reflect, self-awareness is the first step toward creating lasting emotional clarity and growth. Life is full of challenges, many of which seem to appear at the most inconvenient times. For some, these challenges can cause stress and frustration, pushing them to the brink of giving up. However, for others, challenges are viewed as opportunities for growth, something to embrace rather than fear. Mark, an entrepreneur who faced significant financial setbacks, exemplifies how challenges can be transformed into stepping stones towards success. Mark's journey mirrors that of many entrepreneurs who encounter obstacles while trying to build successful businesses. Entrepreneurs often face a range of challenges, from financial hardships to market competition, and their ability to navigate these difficulties determines their success. In Mark's case, he found himself discouraged by financial setbacks. But instead of letting these challenges defeat him, he chose to see them as opportunities for growth. This shift in mindset enabled him to innovate, and ultimately achieve his greatest successes. Mindset plays a crucial role in overcoming challenges. A growth mindset, the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence, has been shown to foster greater success when facing adversity. In contrast, a fixed mindset, characterized by the belief that abilities are static and unchangeable, can prevent individuals from overcoming obstacles. Mark's story demonstrates the power of adopting a growth mindset. Many people would have become discouraged in the face of setbacks, focusing on the negative aspects of the situation and possibly giving up. But Mark chose a different path. Instead of dwelling on his challenges, he viewed them as opportunities to learn and innovate. This shift in perspective not only helped him embrace adversity but also fueled his creativity and problem-solving skills. Reframing challenges is a key component of a growth mindset. When a setback is seen as an opportunity to learn, we free ourselves from limiting beliefs that may hold us back. This mindset shift doesn't just change our perspective, it alters our actions as well. When Mark chose to see his financial setbacks as opportunities, he channeled his energy into finding innovative solutions, which ultimately led to business growth. Financial setbacks are common challenges for entrepreneurs. For many small business owners, cash flow problems, unexpected expenses, or poor investments can lead to significant stress. However, these setbacks should not be seen as signs of failure but rather as valuable lessons in resilience and financial management. In Mark's case, his financial struggles initially left him feeling discouraged. However, he chose to embrace the situation and view it as an opportunity to learn. He carefully analyzed his business model, identifying areas where he could cut costs or improve efficiency. This process of reflection and innovation ultimately led to creative solutions that strengthened his business. A well-known entrepreneur who faced financial challenges early in his career is Richard Branson, the founder of the Virgin Group. In the early 1980s, Branson's airline, Virgin Atlantic, faced severe financial difficulties, and it seemed the company might not survive. Rather than giving up, Branson saw the situation as an opportunity to innovate. He sought new ways to reduce costs, improve customer satisfaction, and differentiate his airline from competitors. As a result, Virgin Atlantic not only survived but became one of the most successful and recognizable airlines in the world. Branson's ability to turn financial setbacks into opportunities for growth is a hallmark of his entrepreneurial spirit. He understood that challenges are part of the journey, and overcoming them requires creativity, resilience, and risk-taking. Innovation often arises out of necessity, and challenges provide the perfect catalyst for creative problem-solving. When faced with obstacles, entrepreneurs are forced to think outside the box and develop new strategies to overcome them. Mark's ability to view challenges as opportunities for innovation allowed him to achieve success. By embracing his setbacks rather than resisting them, Mark opened himself up to new ideas and approaches that led to business growth. Similarly, Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, has faced numerous challenges, including financial difficulties, technical setbacks, and skepticism from critics. Instead of being discouraged by these obstacles, Musk used them as fuel for innovation, pushing the boundaries of technology and space exploration. His achievements, such as the successful launch of reusable rockets and the development of electric cars, have revolutionized industries. Building resilience through adversity is another essential aspect of success. Resilience is the ability to recover from setbacks and adapt to difficult situations. It is a crucial trait for anyone facing challenges in business or life. Resilient individuals maintain a positive outlook, even in the face of adversity, and are more likely to find solutions to the problems they encounter. Resilience allows individuals to persevere through tough times and emerge stronger as a result. In Mark's case, his financial setbacks initially discouraged him, but as he shifted his mindset, he became more resilient. Instead of letting his challenges define him, he saw them as opportunities to grow. This resilience not only helped Mark navigate difficult situations but also built his confidence and determination to succeed. One of the key ways Mark cultivated resilience was by maintaining a long-term perspective. Rather than focusing on immediate setbacks, he kept his eye on the bigger picture, his ultimate goal of building a successful business. This long-term vision helped him stay focused and motivated, even when things weren't going as planned. A prime example of resilience in the face of adversity is Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple. Jobs faced significant setbacks, including being ousted from Apple in the mid-1980s. However, instead of giving up, he used this setback as an opportunity to grow. Jobs founded Next and acquired Pixar, which played vital roles in his return to Apple. When he eventually rejoined Apple, Jobs used his experiences to revolutionize the technology industry with products like the iPhone, iPad, and MacBook. His resilience in the face of adversity not only transformed his own life but also impacted millions of people worldwide. Every challenge, no matter how difficult, holds a hidden lesson. Whether it's a financial setback, a personal failure, or a professional disappointment, challenges provide valuable insights that can lead to growth. The key is to approach challenges with an open mind and a willingness to learn. By embracing adversity rather than resisting it, we uncover the lessons that will propel us forward. For Mark, his financial setbacks led to innovation and refinement of his business model. For others, challenges may lead to personal growth, enhanced skills, or deeper relationships. The important thing is to see challenges as opportunities, not obstacles. Doing so opens the door to growth and transformation. Mark's story serves as a powerful reminder that challenges are not the end of the road, they are the beginning of a new journey. By shifting his mindset and embracing financial setbacks as opportunities for growth, Mark overcame adversity and achieved success. Like many successful entrepreneurs, Mark's ability to innovate, stay resilient, and learn from challenges enabled him to transform setbacks into stepping stones toward his goals. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a leader, or anyone facing challenges in life, the lesson is clear: embrace challenges as opportunities, and you will transform them into growth. We've explored 10 life-changing techniques that can help you stay calm, centered, and in control, no matter how stormy life may get. With practice, these techniques can become second nature, allowing you to respond to challenging situations with a sense of calm, wisdom, and clarity. And, as promised, we've also unlocked a powerful bonus lesson that can completely shift your perspective on emotions, taking you one step closer to a life of inner peace. But remember, mastering non-reaction isn't something that happens overnight. It's a journey. Each time you choose to pause before reacting, each time you take a breath instead of giving in to anger or fear, you are training your mind to stay in a state of peace. This process takes patience, self-compassion, and dedication, but the rewards are immeasurable. Think about the people who inspire you the most, whether they are world leaders, entrepreneurs, or spiritual figures. What do they all have in common? They know how to control their emotions. They know how to remain steady in the face of adversity. Take a moment and reflect on your own life. How much more empowered would you feel if you could approach every situation with calmness and clarity? What could you? I want to leave you with this: non-reaction isn't about suppressing your emotions or pretending that you don't feel. It's about gaining the power to choose how you respond. It's about acting from a place of mindfulness and intention, rather than being driven by momentary impulses. So, I invite you to begin practicing these techniques today. Start small, stay consistent, and watch how your life transforms. Remember, the peace you seek is already within you. Sometimes all it takes is a moment of pause to access it. Thank you for joining me on this journey to mastering non-reaction. I hope the techniques and insights we've covered today inspire you to live a life with more peace, clarity, and purpose. If you found this video helpful, be sure to subscribe to Peaceful Horizons for more content like this. And don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified when we release new videos. Until next time, stay peaceful, stay grounded, and remember, you have the power to control your emotions and create the life of inner peace you've always desired.